But yeah, you can say like coming to you live from the city of Phoenix.
Okay. Coming at you live from the city of Phoenix. This is None of This Really Matters.
Because none of this really matters.
Oh yeah,
Really matters.
you gotta whoever goes farther.
Because none of this really matters. Really matters.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's just the sensor.
Okay.
Um,
Throwing me off.
but yeah, whoever wins first or whoever goes farther. Like I picked the Yankees, and then Domingo picked the Angels.
Yeah. To go
Which not a bad choice. I've been watching the Angels this year.
Oh yeah, I watched their game yesterday. I was like, Ohtani was.
Ohtani was pitching.
He was getting lit up in the beginning, but then you got Trout and everybody.
Trout's a beast.
Yeah,
He
and
hit
then
that
the
dinger
grand
yesterday.
slam too by that one guy. I was like, okay,
I was like, Angels might get it.
hey, at least further. I don't know about the World Series, but further.
But the Yankees, Judge hit a home run today.
Yeah.
Angels.
Take it easy over there.
Aaron Judge hit a home run today, and I was like,
Ooh.
that's my man right there.
He's a seventh. Was it Judge or
Stanton.
Stanton. Someone seventh fastest to get a 350.
I think it's Stanton. Stanton's been killing it.
Really?
Yeah. Aaron Judge has been quiet. I'm sorry. We're talking baseball. Are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
I'm not gonna apologize.
All right.
Y'all suck it up.
But D-backs blowing it. Lost to the Cardinals today. But we beat the Dodgers.
They beat the Dodgers.
We swept, right?
No.
No.
They lost. No. They took the first. The Dodgers beat them 4-0 the first game.
And then we beat them.
Took the series though.
Nice.
Yep.
Go D-backs.
Go D-backs.
Always
yeah.
got support.
Support.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Support the home team.
As long as we beat the Dodgers, I'm like, we're good.
Yes.
I don't give a
That's all I
fuck
care
about the rest of the season.
Yep.
Anyways, what's up, guys? This is None of This Really Matters, episode 57. Here I got a military member, a longtime friend, basically a brother to me,
Yep.
just a cool dude. There's a bunch of guys being dudes on this podcast.
We're just dudes being dudes. You know what I'm saying?
And so Domingo
Yes.
Bermudez,
Yes. That is my name.
we got him here on the pod, guys. Calm down.
Thanks for having me here.
Hold the
Appreciate
applause.
it. Yeah, I know. Hey, wait till after for questions, but no, thanks for having me here, guys.
Yeah, and I've mentioned having you and your twin brother Faustino
Yep.
on with my brother
Yep,
and
Chris.
myself,
Yep.
and we were just talking about it in the car. I was like, good thing it's just Domingo, get a little warm up,
Yeah.
and then later we'll get just Faustino, and then one day we are gonna do the 4-man pod. That's gonna be like 5 hours long, an all-nighter.
Oh, of course.
And then Rob's gonna have to cut out, post an hour and a half, and be like, Patreon, get the 5-hour cut.
Yeah, they unedited raw.
90% of it will get these dudes canceled.
Yes. Yes.
With a bottle of tequila along with it.
Multiple
But yeah, we got you on, and I'm excited because I've been wanting you on since the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I've been thinking about guests ever since I started. I was like, I want this person, I want this. I've always wanted my dad on, I always wanted my brother. Josh, I wanted on. And then just more and more, Angelo wanted to come on. I was like, fuck yeah, Teddy came on. I was like, but now, long awaited, I finally have you on, and I'm super excited. And we're all excited, so it's going to be super cool.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing it from, the conception of it. You guys were talking about it from, back years ago, having it conceived an idea. And then it's like, oh man, like, hey, put that pen to paper and make it work. And now it's like, it's in the infant stage, and seeing it, like I said, like I told you before, hey, this gives me hope for the American dream, Hey, you guys keep pushing it. Let's see where it comes.
Yeah. That's the only thing you can do is keep trying.
Hey, keep trying,
And so now that that's been said, let's bust out the tequila.
Let's go.
Can you pour me up, Amanda? Or Domingo?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just happy we've made it this far, and it's crazy hearing it from the outside coming in. People are like, "Jesus, Menda."
That's how you know she don't drink tequila. So I'm like, bro, what are you?
Hey, we're just gonna sip. We're gonna sip.
We're gonna sip it.
Yes, we're gonna sip. It's gonna take the whole time.
That's an entire pot worth of.
Yeah.
tequila.
Well, I'm good, Menda.
No, we're good. We're good.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers, my brother.
And we got 2 glasses for you guys too, if you guys want some. If you guys want some, it's up totally up to Tatiana if you want one.
You want some?
Yeah, I'll have some.
Cheers.
You want some?
God. Wait, what does that taste like? to you?
So you can taste the plant. It's not bad. It's white tequila basically, but you can taste like the agave plant and everything. You let it, like, at least taste all the palates or all the receptors in your tongue.
Yo, who is this guy? Are you like an expert or something? Or you're just experienced?
Just experience, but I've been on a tequila binge kind of thing to try out new tequilas and all that. So
How many of them made you shit your pants?
none.
Really?
None. Yeah.
Sir, what's that?
Actually, tequila has actually been good to me to where
Cerveza, what is it, Cervana? Not Cervana. It starts with a C.
Quavo?
No.
Trash.
It used to be it was like a $17 bottle. It used to get. It tasted good, but it used to.
He's
get
at all.
Yeah, as soon as he's 17, you're like, that's my price range.
It was like that. The next morning, I would never be. Of course, no hangovers with tequila.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
My stomach was like, dude, you
Really?
gotta start drinking Quavo or like Patron because you can't.
The real
this.
shit.
Yeah, this shit is tearing your insides up.
This isn't even tequila.
This is just bro.
This is poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean tequila's been good for me. That's obviously I've been whiskey, Scotch guy, but then when I started tequila, I've been getting into it more. It's been a little rough in the beginning, but then I'm like, no, I do it for tasting. Obviously, getting older in age, I'm not trying to party it up. This one, I'm just sipping it. I'm just chilling. Talking good vibes, talking good people, and all that. So. It's just, okay. Real trap shit.
You just did that on camera.
But
I respect it though, because I would do the same thing.
He's legal.
Yeah, no, not that. Talking about people
Two
would.
drops?
No, people would just. If people are going to tear him up, they're like, "Oh, you poured it in your drink." Like, you're supposed to drink that shit straight. But I'm glad you did it.
No,
Cause I'm the
that's
same person.
Yeah.
Pour that shit in some juice, man. I ain't about to drink this straight. You got me
there's
fucked
no
up.
flavor in this.
Yeah,
It's just-
Also,
exactly.
don't drink any shots. Like, you don't
Oh, I'm not a shot person.
I'm not either. Like it's more
Obviously,
mental. So like,
I'm
say
not.
you got the shot glass, right? You got the shot glass, right? It seems like a lot, so I'm like, but then you put the same amount in a cup
In a
like
cup.
this. I'd be like, cool. It's all
It's
it's all
that
mental
is
for me.
It's all
Yeah.
placebo.
Yeah, the placebo effect. Yep.
But, anyways, we started talking about you being on like 2 weeks ago. A week or two ago.
Yeah.
Because you brought up Terminator 2.
Yep. I saw you guys' podcast last year, and or not last year, last week.
Yeah.
We were on with your dad. I was like, oh man, let's go, let's talk. And
Yeah.
that's when I brought it up to you. I was like, yo, Terminator 2. That's one of the movies I've always wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were just talking. You've
Yeah.
seen it on repeat, like just
On VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, all these different
everything,
levels.
every
Yes.
platform.
Yep.
But I was just watching it with I've watched it like 3 times in the past like week. The movie's so good. But
It is.
I was watching it with my dad the other day, and he was like, I saw this at the movie theater like opening day, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like that has to be so sick just to see Terminator 2 in theaters packed.
The first
Coolest
time.
outfits everywhere you ever seen
bro.
in your life.
And it's just like, oh my god, that has to be so
And then
sick.
cool sounding guns. Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew. Fucking
exactly.
T-1000 getting hit.
That's-
And then Terminator.
Like imagine seeing those visual effects.
Yeah.
Just like,
The
and
first
everybody's
time.
like, oh my god.
This dude's liquid metal.
Yeah. Comes out of the floor.
Yeah, knife hands. Yeah. Hey, settle down over there. Yeah, take it
You
easy.
can see like her head. Oh, I think you could see like when she's ready.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. And so I was like, in my head, I said this on the pod last week. I was like, I remember telling you like, I was thinking how about we do top 5 action movies, but I was just like, no, like doing the time travel part of it would be like way cool, and creating a top 5.
Yeah.
Time travel movies, because I know that could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Just a topic of time travel.
Just the topic of time travel. I've always been fascinated with time travel because it's like, it's one of those things to where it's like we want to try to get it, but even if we do have it, would you want to?
Yeah.
That's-
Let's not get into that yet,
Yes. Right up on that.
because
It's gonna go there.
It'll go there. It'll go there.
But I put together a list. You put together a list. God damn it, Chevy.
It's not even because it's annoying, it's because it's funny. It's so distracting.
Hey, take it easy.
But
She wants to get her tail.
So we put together a list. I got my top 5. I've been watching nothing but time travel movies for the past week. Ever since you said you were gonna be on, I was like, all right, time to hit go. And then I started off with, what did I start off with? Let me check. I think I started off with like Army of Darkness.
Okay.
And then I went to like Demolition Man, and me and Rob watched that together. And then after that, then I just went to more. Let's just get into it. I've been watching nothing but time travel movies, so I'm in that headspace.
Yeah. Yep.
And you did the same. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
I did my research. I had to revisit all these other movies. Basically, the main ones that are in my list.
Yeah, you're like, these are gonna be.
Yes, they're in my list. And I was like, I want to talk these out.
That's basically
to see what I
did,
saw and explain to it everything. So.
Okay, so also what we're gonna do is, you good, Rob?
Yeah, I'm gonna just move his mic a little bit. Y'all keep going.
Okay.
Adjust his mic.
All right.
Is it too low or what?
No, it's not facing the right way.
Oh, okay. It's not omnidirectional.
No, this is a cardioid.
Yes.
Real trap shit.
Real trap shit. Trapaholics.
You're coming in now. Yeah, coming in high. That's what I like.
Let's go.
So yeah, I guess we should just hop right in.
All right.
To our list. I got mine on my phone right here.
Yeah, we got my list right here, and so number 5 for me was Endgame.
Whew.
Yes.
Starting off.
I'm starting off. Yes. Had to bring it up again. That's my number 5.
You watch it, you know this is a Marvel family.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of how they brought it into it. Obviously, it opened up a lot of avenues on, to continue the movies and the genres and all that. But just how they brought it into it, it's like, oh man, obviously with the snap and everything, how do you bring everybody back? It's like, this can't be the end of the movies.
Yeah.
Have everybody just turn into dust. How do you bring it back? And then the idea of time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. Easy stuff.
But Endgame, we talked about it on the podcast with my dad, but more times than that. But
Yeah.
We talk more the emotional.
Yeah, like you guys were talking
we
about.
barely
like
talk about the movie.
Yeah.
We only talk about
because it's like
that
when you
goes
guys
too
left it,
far.
you guys left the theater just quiet on the car right home. That's how I felt. I was in training, and when I saw that, I was like. Like we all felt defeated.
You felt like you lost.
Yes, like we looked at each other. We lost. What happened?
Because like you grew up with it. You're like,
Yeah.
I watched these people.
The good guys did not win.
the entire
Yes.
character arc.
Yes.
You're like, holy shit, and that's why I think that's a safe. Endgame is not in my top 5. We have a few top 5s.
Yep,
in
similarities.
common,
Yeah,
and but I do respect it.
Yeah.
I can see why it could be in anybody's top 5 time travel movies
Mm-hmm.
because and it was so easy to follow for everybody because obviously like Marvel knew, like the directors knew, they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to explain our rules of time travel in this movie like that. Like we're getting
very quick.
Yeah.
I was just about. They did a great job of just like, hey, the quantum realm is the key to this.
Yeah.
It's like I was in there for 5 months. This was 5 years. You're like, oh, okay. You knew where they were going instantly. You're like, here we go.
It doesn't make sense, but that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like okay.
Exactly.
It just answered all these questions.
You're making the rules here. Like that's what the beauty of.
Okay, I'll take
And
it.
you're like, time is whatever.
Relative.
Beauty.
Like,
That's the beauty of movies.
He did the Mobius.
It's like-
thing, and then you're
It was like a wormhole, but then it flipped on
Yeah, Tony
itself.
Hawk's just like, all right, do this. You're like, got it figured out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, green. You're like, oh, I passed. Like, oh, I just did it. Like what? He's like, we just watched 2.5 hours right now, and you just solved it. Like that's it.
But yeah, Endgame, great movie. It's a cultural phenomenon. Like everybody loved Endgame. It was so everybody was so looking forward to it that when it came out on social media, Marvel was like, don't spoil it.
Yeah,
That's how much
that
it
was like
mattered.
a golden rule to where it's like, hey, this is a good enough movie. Everybody wants to watch it. Don't spoil it.
Do not spoil
Do
it. For
not.
like 2 months.
Yeah,
They were like, don't spoil the movie. And then literally they posted the green light. They were like, okay, it's been long enough.
yes.
Go do what you
If
want.
you have not watched it now, you're wrong.
You suck.
Yes, yeah. Get a movie ticket. Yeah.
But yeah, my top 5, my number 5.
That movie grossed 2.3 billion worldwide. I just looked that up the other day.
2.3 billion.
Did it beat-
Avatar just went back to beating them. They keep coming back worldwide. They keep showing it somewhere.
Everybody.
Avatar
keeps they took the number one.
They just keep growing.
Like this year actually.
So Endgame took the number one spot, but then Avatar just brought it back.
Avatar came right back.
What about No Way Home?
That's not even.
No,
that's not close yet.
No, it was just really popular.
That's like Black Panther numbers, like 1.2,
okay.
1.3.
Yeah.
But
you're talking about 2.3 billion worldwide.
Okay.
That's like another $1 billion.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like Jerry Rice numbers. Like,
Exactly.
Okay. Just outlier.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. You're never going to catch.
Yeah. Nobody is.
No.
But my number 5, I'll preface my number 5. In my list, I tried to hit not every genre, but I try to have some diversity. You know what I mean? And so what I did was for my number 5 is choose Hot Tub Time Machine.
Great.
You guys are picking great movies to start off with, man.
Number 5 is indeed Hot Tub Time Machine. One of the funniest movies, and we were just talking about the first time I met Rob when I was like 9 years old.
For days.
I remember, this is another memory I had of Rob when I was like 9. He came, Menda and Rob were both in the military at the time, and then I heard Rob quote Hot Tub Time Machine, and I was like, he watched it too, and then
we just become best friends.
More times than you know. The military and Hot Tub Time Machine are like
Hot Tub Time. I was literally just quoting it. Like, Hot Tub Time Machine is the reason I say Tequila's O'Neill's. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the funniest movie.
I think that movie brought the word nerd back.
You're a fucking nerd.
He was so mad at him. Fuck you, Jacob.
He's like, well, let's shove it up our asses. but yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine is so good. And again, like, I guess it plays onto those 80s movies and how corny they are. And they're like, and then the cliche of like, oh, I wish we could go back. And they're like reminiscing as they're going back to this place they used to go to all the time.
Yeah.
And then they go back
the
to
classic ski mountain trope from the 80s.
Yeah, hilarious.
Great.
And then the bad guy, he watched like Karate Kid and Red Dawn.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
That's him?
That was
Winter
him?
Soldier. Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking step on my Jordans.
That's him, dude.
And they're like Jordan, like the 85 bred ones. I'm like, ooh. I didn't know. Damn. Early Sebastian Stan. Shout out to him.
A lot of Marvel characters be having some roles before. That's why they're in Marvel. A lot of those guys are,
that's true.
Bangers before Marvel.
Yeah, but Hot Tub Time Machine, my number 5. Hilarious movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like the whole don't run into yourselves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they are themselves.
That was a great. I loved it. They were like, so we're gonna run into ourselves. You're like, no, you guys are yourselves.
Yeah,
like,
you just went.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
You went straight back in time.
When they looked in the mirrors and they were like, holy shit.
Just
and then Jacob, the guy, he wasn't. He was like flashing when he was in the mirror. He was like,
he didn't exist.
Yeah, and then till like Lou like nutted in that girl, and and then he disappeared.
Because he was what's his name's nephew. So
John Cusack's
his
nephew.
mom was John Cusack's sister. So he was like, you have to bang my sister for Jacob.
Yeah, that was the climax of the movie. It was like, you have to fuck my sister.
Yeah. Don't break the timeline.
You're a punishment. When he choked him, you're a punishment.
But yeah, that movie, so funny, and I think it deserves to be mentioned in this episode because we're talking time travel. One of the funniest, probably I'd say the funniest time travel movie.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of another time travel comedy.
Nah, because usually time travel is like, no, this is serious. Like
this is serious shit.
We have to save humanity or something like that. And then no, this one's just we got to go back.
And
they also referenced Hot Tub Time Machine in Endgame because he was like, how do we explain time travel? And he was like, Hot Tub Time Machine. Then
Die Hard.
And we'll say in Hot Tub Time Machine they referenced Terminator.
They did.
They reference Time Cop.
Yeah, Time Cop.
Like, haven't you ever fucking seen Time Cop? That movie, hilarious. I love that movie so much. That movie will never get old. You can put that movie on.
It still holds
If I walk in the house and that movie's on, I'm like, fuck yeah. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, a 3-pointer. That movie's amazing.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly underrated. I feel like
star-studded cast.
Star-studded.
Yeah,
and but yeah, you're number 4.
Number 4 was Deja Vu. Yes. Yeah. Obviously,
I'll talk about it with you.
Yes.
Because that's my number 3.
Yes. So Deja Vu. Obviously, I mean, you got Mac Daddy Denzel right there all
Denzel.
day.
Val
All
Kilmer?
day. Ooh, all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, Deja Vu. The reason why is because it talked about time travel, but I liked it because it wasn't too confusing. It was more of a singular linear thing.
Yeah.
You know, they say, you know, we have this machine, this technology.
It was a very unique
Yes.
technology they had.
A unique technology. You know, obviously you got the attack that happened. It's like, oh, we have this system. What was it called? I forgot what it was
They
called.
had some kind of.
Yeah,
It was a name.
It was a cool.
It was a
name.
cool ass name.
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
had.
we get cool names.
But basically, it left that
Skynet?
time.
Are you kidding me?
You know,
Amazing.
yeah, Skynet. It left that scope of like, hey, we could go back in time, but only in this little certain.
Yeah,
whatever
what you're
we can
looking
see.
at, what you're about to go back to, that's the only
Yes,
place.
and then as soon as we move over it, that's it, because time keeps moving, so we can't go back even further. We only have one chance.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, it just made it was kind of confusing, but when they explained it, it was simple.
Yeah.
It's
It
just,
added in that part where it's like we can't go farther back. We can't go anywhere else.
Yes.
Like location wise, like
Yeah.
geographically.
Yep.
You can't go anywhere else. Like what you're looking at, where you're about to go.
Yes.
That's the only place you can be and the only time you can be at.
Yep.
And it's only 4 days
It was like
In the
4
past?
days and a couple hours or so.
in
yeah.
the past.
Yep.
And Denzel, and then I love how they didn't introduce him to that technology.
No.
It was a secret technology.
Yeah.
And Denzel was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
He
Because he
was-
shines
he
that
shined
light.
the
Yep,
laser.
the laser, and she looks. He's like, "What was that?
He
What
was
do you
like,
call
"What
it?"
was that?" And that scene where he freaks out on him, great.
Yeah,
That's
great.
Denzel, peak Denzel
Yeah.
right there.
Explain that to me. Explain it.
And he repeated, "Explain
Yes.
that to me."
Explain it. What just happened? How did she see that?
Yeah, and so that Deja Vu, so good. And
Yes.
then when you watch it again, I mean, I just like we had it on DVD. We watched it. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
I
many
got it on
times.
DVD. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody had a
think
Deja
we
Vu.
had it
You gotta have to watch it. You have to have it on DVD.
Yeah.
It's Denzel
But-
Washington.
Like if you don't have every Denzel movie on DVD,
You're wrong.
What
That was,
Yeah.
that was one of those rewatches. Like I'm gonna just pop this on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. I'm gonna watch this, and I watched it from the beginning to end every time before I fell asleep. You
Yeah.
catch yourself like, "Fuck, I'm fucking watching this
Yeah,
shit."
oh, man, I gotta be productive.
and then the last scene of the movie is the first scene
greatest.
Yes.
I love that part.
where he
blows.
spoiler
up.
alert, real quick for if you haven't seen Deja Vu, it is a deep cut.
It's been a while, so
But I just will say spoiler alert.
2006.
you've had some time.
That was around next time. 2006, wasn't it? Was 2006? I feel like that new
Next-
other
that was-
Terminator came out too. I feel like that was a time travel year. It was like 04 to 06.
03, Terminator 3 came out in 03.
Rise of the Machines.
That's
Yeah.
see. So I was like, I knew there was like
Like
a
that
span
little-
of time.
Yeah.
Time travel.
And
They were bombing.
But weren't that good, but it was
They
popping.
were bombing.
Trash.
But yeah, the end of the movie, Denzel dies, but he doesn't
Goosebumps.
Yes.
because he dies, right? He
Yep.
explodes like
Yeah.
the craziest thing ever. And then the girl's like, "No, what the
Yeah.
fuck?" And then boom, the coolest Denzel you could see
Yeah.
just pops up,
Slow motion.
and you're like, "Ooh, "That's the man right
It was
there."
like a man on fire shot. That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah,
And then
yeah.
doesn't he say something? We tell you like, "Do I know you?" Or like, "Have we met before?"
And she's like,
No. Yes.
and she's all like traumatized.
Yes,
like I just
because
saw you die.
You just
Yeah.
exploded underwater.
You just saw time
Like-
travel like at its
Yes.
peak. You just made her mind go.
You-
You
yeah,
like
like-
destroyed her.
What do you even believe anymore?
Exactly. Are we alive anymore? That's what you would ask yourself.
Is this real life? You know, like-
But yeah, Deja Vu was my number 3,
Yep.
and your number 4. Great movie, underrated
You-
Denzel. I say.
underrated. You got Paula Patton in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's
Val
Peak
Kilmer.
Paula Patton.
Val
Yeah.
Kilmer playing, and then also if you looked at my Letterboxd review, I put there a room full of nerds explaining time travel to Denzel Washington is the funniest thing I've ever
Yes.
seen. Where they're like, you see where the time loop and the time is linear, and he's just like,
Okay, so what does that all mean? Say it in English.
but your number 3.
Number 3. No,
My
you're
number
number.
4.
You're number 4.
You're number 4.
My number 4 is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
And that is my number 3.
Nice. Oh,
That is
Good
my number
job,
3.
guys.
So,
see, this is why I love this.
yes, let's go. So, with Terminator 2, I mean, what was your take on it?
So
Because you just recently watched it, right?
I recently watched it. Haven't seen it in a very long time.
It's ingrained in my brain, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
recently watched it. Haven't seen it in maybe 10 years. It's been a while.
Damn.
But before 10 years ago, I've seen it, it was just on. It was one of those things. And that's what I was talking to you about earlier today, was that I grew up, Terminator 3 was my Terminator. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, that was my shit. There was one time where I actually had, not a sleepover, I was just going over to my friend's house, third grade. First time I ever went to another friend's house. Okay. And I brought the DVD. I was like, I'll bring Terminator 3.
It would be cool. I can just see you got a copy. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger's face with his red eye and stuff. Yeah, this is Rise of the Machines.
And then I was like, I got this.
Hey guys.
And what's cool is my friend was like, let's throw it on. And we watched Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. But anyway, I remember after that, I grew up watching that. I came out in 03. Mm-hmm. That was the only Terminator.
You said 2 or 3, I'm sorry.
3. Terminator 3.
Okay.
Wait, Terminator 2 is my number 4.
And my number 3. But he grew up with Terminator 3.
Okay, that's what you were saying. Okay.
Yeah, this is a little confusing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But
time travel.
That's all I was about to say. I was like, we're already on it.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching Terminator 3 until I would hit about like 10, 11 years old. Yeah. Watched Terminator 2. I was like, holy shit. This is way better. Yes. And I was like, this is so much cooler. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, that whole like intro. Bad to the bone. And like seeing all of that like play out, how he gets, the sunglasses, the same scene from the first movie. Yep. Like, and also what I did see like very recent for the first time was the first Terminator. Like 3 years ago, I saw it. I never seen the first one. Okay. And I remember I watched it and I was like, oh, he's the bad guy in the first one. And because I only knew 2 and 3. And I watched the first one, I was like, oh, he was the villain. Like they were trying to take him down. And then number 2, he became the protector.
Yeah, that's why it made sense in the movie where, when Sarah Connor saw him coming out of the theater, she's like, no, because she remembers him trying to kill her in the first one.
Yep. Exactly. It was so confusing to her. Mm-hmm. She was just like, why are you with him?
Yeah. And
I thought that was, because I think a lot of us, well, I guess for like our age, we would have seen 2 first, and then I saw 1. Yeah. You saw 3, 2, 1. I think everybody.
I watched it completely backwards.
You went reverse in time.
Everybody watched it backwards because you watch 1 and you're like, man, that shit was job mid. But you're like, it sets the story up to where 2 was such a good fucking movie. Because there was I don't think you ever saw like, was time travel like a movie concept like that before that?
No. Not a heavy.
Not nothing they could do like they did with 2. Yeah. So I was like, I think
because if you watch old time travel movies, it's like, all right, you're trying to get some shit off.
You do the swirly thing on the screen. The Twilight Zone thing. Yeah. Like, that's
the hands of time going backwards on the analog clocks. You got spiral backgrounds. Like,
they super overimpose it over the dude's face.
Yes. He's just spinning like. Yeah, he's in a phone booth.
The Terminator. I like the time travel with like that's a lot of energy, so it literally burned the concrete underneath where they
glass and sand.
The sand turning to glass. That's where I learned that from.
Yep. Yeah,
because I remember asking my dad watching Terminator 3. Yep. I was like, "Why is there glass?" He was like, "Well, you see."
It makes every dad like,
yeah. Teaching moment.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
This sounds so smart right now. Well, mirrors, guess where they come from?
Yeah. You see glass at extremely hot temperatures.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
but that switch up in the story was, I think, very like cool as a story plot. Like to have the bad guy become the protector, like was reprogramming. I was like, that's fucking lit,
and also
dude.
Like it being funny and badass and like interesting and thought provoking. You're like, oh, this checks every box.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good movie. And, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the helm.
That was peak 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger right there.
Like, he's coming off of Twins.
He's coming off of,
or not
he was still big. He was just...
Like, that opening scene is the one where that's when every dude was like, I have to go back to the gym now. Like,
yeah, it's like,
Christ.
Oh, like, I'm slacking. You know, like... That's
you're looking at the goat and you're like, I need to get my shit together.
That's a man.
That's a man right there.
Yeah, I am nothing. Yeah.
But yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the helm, like, cause he has, and that's the smart thing about Schwarzenegger, is that he only went for the roles that he knew played off of his physicality.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't try to be like The Rock playing these like serious roles where it's like, that's not that good.
Yeah, you're not that dude, you know.
But when you see Arnold Schwarzenegger like playing a machine, or playing the comedies like Twins, where he's obviously this big, huge, dumb dude.
Yeah.
And then Danny DeVito's like the
The mean
snarky,
guy, yeah.
like short one. And it's like, that's perfect. Like he always went for those roles he knew he could pull off. He never went for something that was so out of reach that were like, holy shit, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's not him.
But now like there's no like big beefy dude that can like act and is funny and can be serious. I guess I was thinking about it like while we were like, before we started recording, I was like, the only person was like Chris Hemsworth as Thor, like, cause he's funny, he can be serious, and he's badass.
Have you watched those little shorts that he does? It was like in between. I think it was like post. It was something.
It was
he
post
was like that. You know,
Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, when he was doing like, I'm in the office and he was
yeah,
just hanging out with the dude.
I remember
this
those.
Shit is hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny, but it's just the only thing about The Rock is he can't act. Like he's not that.
He's
good.
likable. That's what the
He's
problem
just so
is.
cool. Like we just know him from everything.
He's kind of the same character in all of his movies.
Yeah,
you know.
He has no like crazy. He's literally the same person.
Yes,
like
he's
it's
The
not
Rock.
like he's slightly different. He's just The Rock.
Yeah.
But when you see Chris Hemsworth, you're like, that's fucking Thor right there.
Yeah.
Or then when you see Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're like, that's the Terminator.
That's a robot.
That's
it's a
Jingle All the
cyborg.
Way
That-
too.
Yes,
That's the movie he gets away with. Jingle All
Yes,
the Way.
that was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Arnold gets away with it. You're like, oh, his English guy. Because
It's a Christmas movie. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
I think
Turbo Man.
That's a lot of pressure though to make a good Christmas movie. They
It
come
is.
out in droves every single
Every year, yeah.
And
There's
that's
like 10
in
of
the
them a
top,
year.
yeah, that's like top 10
You
classic.
can still watch it and be like, this is still hold. Yeah.
The kids love
that's
Jingle
hard.
All the Way.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Every year.
Yeah, they love Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
but so yeah, that's my number 4. Your number 3 was Deja Vu. My number 3 was Deja Vu.
Yeah, my number 3 was Terminator 2.
Okay, so we're caught up.
Yes.
So your number 2.
My number 2, Interstellar.
Oof.
And I had to revisit this because as soon as we started talking about, okay, hey, we got to get serious with time travel, we was like, I got to do my homework. And so
Exactly,
I was
exactly what I thought.
yes.
I was like, I gotta
do
do
come
some
correct.
research.
I got to come correct.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, so I rewatched. It's on Paramount Plus or Amazon
Yeah.
if you got it. So yeah, I
know we got that.
Thank you.
And-
Watching
Thank
SpongeBob.
you, Big
Oh,
Chris.
of course, SpongeBob all day.
SpongeBob is on all
T-Mobile,
day.
T-Mobile free Paramount Plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes,
How come we don't got that shit?
dude. How do you think I got? I ain't trying to spend money.
I was like, we just use theirs. We just use his.
Oh,
theirs.
okay,
I'm
you
like,
smart. You smart.
Yeah, my dad has all the channels. It was like once HBO Max came out, he's like, get rid of the HBO one. We got HBO Max.
Pass
So.
that login information, bro. But yeah, so I watched Interstellar and I was just focused on it, and man, it gave me a newfound respect for Matthew McConaughey. Because,
Yes.
you know, before I was like, man, he's a goofy dude. He's a country dude. He likes to be barefoot in most of his movies. I'm like, gross. Man, you know, like, you know, it's just like one of those things like, man, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Yeah. All right. You know, he's just like looking off in the distance.
Have you read his book? Greenlight?
No, I haven't.
You got to.
Really?
I
It's a good
recommend
one?
it to everybody, yeah.
Okay, I got to look
If
into
you
that.
listen to the audiobook, it's him reading it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, of course he's going to read his own book. It's Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
But yeah, just doing that and looking into Interstellar, I'm like, man, just the idea of it and what's going on, the plot, the synapses, everything.
The scale of what Christopher Nolan's trying to go for
Yes.
is insane.
Bro, and then just the images that you see and what he was able to create.
In 2013, 2014, and
Yes.
and there was no actual pictures of a black hole. And until like 2019 or 2020.
Yep.
And if you look at the real pictures of of a black hole that came out in 2020, looks just like Interstellar.
it, because you see that light band around it.
Around it.
Yes.
I remember
I'm like, oh
when that
my
happened,
gosh.
they were like, oh, this is like, people thought that was like the beginning of the end. Because like, if it's that close that we can see it, that's pretty damn, because that movie lets you know how
Yeah.
powerful a black hole is.
Yeah, it's
And that nothing escapes it, and it's like there's just gravitational. pull
once
and
you're
all this
there,
stuff.
you're
what happens
consumed.
to it? I don't know. You know, and then but just the story behind it, and and then how it sets up to where like these little things are happening, you know, like her ghost, you know, the book's coming off.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? The lines in the dust. It's like, oh, gravity. Like, what is that? But then later on in the movie, when you see it, like, yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that movie, not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Like, I always thought of that movie as being overrated. Like, it's a great movie, but it's just like, I was never fully like, this movie is great. I just always like respect it. I was like, yeah, it is good.
Yeah, it's a good, respectable movie.
Yeah, and especially the first time I watched it, I was like 13. Imagine being 13 watching a time travel.
Mind blown. You're like, I know everything.
You're like, I'm obsessed with time travel.
I know binary code.
I'm learning Morse code right now.
Yes.
But yeah, I just always thought of it as like being overrated, and I was just like, it's just not better than other Christopher Nolan movies. Like I love The Prestige, and I love Dunkirk.
Prestige, man. That's
the Prestige is crazy.
Crazy. It made me want to be a magician, bro.
They made it. I think what it is about Interstellar, though, I think, like you were saying, it probably sounds like the most scientifically accurate portrayal of us being able to, like, because it was time travel, like, it got not mystical at the end, but it was like, you kind of had to use your mind because nobody knows what's inside of a black hole.
Yeah,
like, we don't know.
It's just the idea.
No one. Yeah.
But before that, like if we're on this planet for 2 hours, my daughter's going to be 27 if we don't get all.
Yeah, that scene,
was the part where I was like, this
that's
is
probably
time travel.
That's my favorite scene.
And then like when they're taking off, it's like, oh, this movie just cost us what 50 something years. I'm like, what?
They get back at the original shit when the dude's like old and gray.
Yeah, he's like, I've been waiting. It's like, how long? 20 something years. I'm like, what?
I think Christopher Nolan did a great job of like fucking your head up with the dude where Matt Damon was asleep for 3 years. Like what they did with time, they made it really relative. They made it like it can do whatever the fuck it wants when you're somewhere else in the universe.
It's not constant. It's whatever is relative to you. So where you're at, like, you know, we're on that planet.
It's however you receive it.
Every hour is 7 years, but then up there it took him. He was waiting for 23 years.
Yeah, if you go up the mountain, you know, it's completely different.
Yeah,
looking at, he can see the planet from his window.
Yeah,
like the space station, but because he's closer to the black hole, he can see you guys, but he's aging. He's just staring at this planet for 20 years.
It's insane.
And that's just like,
and that movie is so like complicated, and it has to be if it wants to pull off the things it does. And like, I just always thought of it as just like half the movie is it explaining itself of like, this is how this works, this is how this works, this is how this works. And I just always thought of it like, this movie thinks I'm dumb, which I am, but it's like,
I'm not a smart man.
Me, bitch.
Yeah, I know. Don't this is an insult. Like, I understood what you're talking about.
I
not
don't
really
understand, so I'm gonna take that as disrespect.
I don't know those words you're just using right now. So I'm gonna take that as a threat.
So, but I remember seeing that movie, and I was like, and I watched it with my parents, and we were all like, oh, like at the end when you see the dust, and we were like, oh, because he went back, and for like 10 minutes, because my mom didn't really get it, but my dad got it, and he was like, but you see the way he's like a master at explaining like twists, but
M. Night Shyamalan.
but yeah, Interstellar is a great sci-fi. It's like one of the all-time sci-fi movies.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi, and then it talks about like just how time travel and basically, like you said, you made it that complex to where it's like he made it clear to where it's like, hey, this is confusing, but here's an explaining on how, and that time is something that is relative to you. And
also the alien, like, they never say it explicitly.
Yeah, the beings, who are they?
They kept saying they. They was like, where did it come from? They're like, they just show up, and they're like, yeah, they must have put it there. Like, who's they? And they're like, we don't know. And even inside, when he was inside the thing, they're like, they're here. We don't know who they are, but they're here helping out. Like, so you're like, it made it less mystical, and it was like, oh, maybe there's like other dimensional beings or something like that. Like,
because then it's like, oh, we're in a third dimensional world and their fifth dimensional thing. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
I had to have Marl explain that to me. My boy Marl had to explain that to me the other day. Because he was like, he had to take it. He was like, he drew a person on 2D on a piece of paper, and he was like, he's a 2D world. He has no concept of like looking up or like doing that. He was like, that guy doesn't. So I was like, this is fucking.
And speaking of that, I will say, Deja Vu and Interstellar, that scene of writing the line with the paper,
and then
the
they
pencil,
flip it, and then
Deja Vu did it first.
Yeah.
They did that same scene.
Yeah.
Say like
Because they use the paper. It's like, think of it, paper is linear, flat. But then you got one hole right here, and then you flip it over, time bends on itself. Now you're on the 2 points.
Who did that before them, though? Event Horizon.
Really?
They did that. That's how fucking Dr. I don't know. I just call him Dr. Alan Grant from Jurassic Park.
He's Dr. Alan Grant.
Dr. Alan Grant.
He's Dr. Alan Grant. That's it. That's his name.
He did. He was like, they were like, in that movie, it was another secret space program, and they were like, they thought that there was,
remember
when we were saying when the F-35 was a failure, he was like, we didn't fail. Yeah. We actually really did figure this out. So and they was like, we punch a hole through space and we bend it, and that's how we got to the other side.
Man.
But they went the horror route, and they were like, when you bent it, there was something in between that we didn't understand. So that's why the shit was lost for 25 years.
I never watched that one. That's the one with Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
I remember it, but I could barely remember what happened to it.
People say it's a horror movie, first of all, but I think as far as
I heard
effects,
that's like a sci-fi horror?
Yeah, but it's like
1997.
The effects in that movie are way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Way ahead of, and Lawrence Fishburne does an amazing, and Dr. Alan Grant does.
I gotta check that out.
Before he discovered dinosaurs. help
he did dinosaurs. He brought them back.
He could do it all.
Yeah, he time traveled and dinosaurs.
Yeah, he knows how to travel.
He went to the future and the past.
Yeah, and he went to hell also. He did that too. In the Event Horizon, he went to hell.
So your number two is Interstellar.
Yes.
Nice.
My number 2 is Tenet.
And mic drop, because
y'all are killing it, dude.
That is my number 1.
Knew it.
Let's talk about it.
It's like it had to be.
I gotta go in depth in that one, man.
Let's talk about that. Oh, you're here. You're talking to the right person.
Yes.
Wait. How many times have you seen Tenet? Is it over 10 times?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Give me that.
You have to.
Give me that. You have. That's the first thing I ask people when they talk about Tenet. I'm like, how many times did you see it? And if it's not over 10, I'm like, you're not ready. Like, you have to watch it.
You have to
1,000 times to really get what's going on. Because I will say it is confusing. I saw that shit in theaters and I was that was just crazy.
In theaters, man.
And then watched it a million times. Right when it came on Amazon Prime, I was like, I'm buying it. Me and my brother watched it. We both fell in love with it. Ever since then, the only person I watched it with was my brother, and we both seen it 1,000 times. Okay. Tenet is go. Okay. You go.
Well,
you go.
Before I start, before we spoil the movie, can I get a shout out to somebody? Like,
it's been spoiled.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's been spoiled. Kim, hey, you're watching this. We still gotta watch it, and even though we're gonna spoil it, we're gonna watch it.
All right.
Now let's spoil it. So yeah, Tenet. First time I saw it, like I said, I have never said what the fuck more times in a movie.
Yeah.
I was in the theaters. This was like when it came out, it was like one of the only movies that came out before the whole shutdown and lockdown in 2020.
It was like the only movie.
So it was like kind of empty theaters, and you just hear me like, what the fuck? Like when he fucking grabs the bullet, what the fuck? And then when they're fighting backwards, what the fuck? You know, like, and then even at the end, what the fuck?
That was me. I was like,
bro, and I like it because it's my number 1 because it's one of the first movies. Obviously, all these time travel movies, going back in time. This one's time inversion. Inversion, which
you see the time moving backwards,
and you're going forward. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Fucks your whole world up,
bro.
No one's, and the fact that no one's. I mean, I can see why no one's ever done that, but like,
Christopher Nolan.
It's like the second again. He did it again. Interstellar. And Tenet, bro. You have made 2 of the most scientifically sound time travel movies,
and he did it differently.
And did it differently.
They're two completely different movies.
Exactly.
One's all planet. One is more deja vu-ish, and one is more.
One is like a world hopping. Like they're in like, what are they in, like Dubai? They're in London. They're in Russia.
Yes, everywhere in
Priya. They're everywhere.
Man, but yeah, Tenet. I mean, where do I even begin? Just the first opening scene. I'm like, what's going on? Like
the opening scene is pretty wild. It's such a good like tone.
It just starts out boom, and then there's the opera house, and I was like, you're like, oh man,
the score in that opening scene, doom.
Yes.
That whole part.
It's just building the intense. Like,
and then when the gunshots go off, it's like,
I feel like I'm there.
Ludwig Göransson. Shout out to Ludwig Göransson.
Yes,
the composer. He is. and a genius, a musical genius.
I
Hans Zimmer.
cannot wait till you make movies, niggas. I bought those sounds
Dude,
I
you
bought
have
those
to.
plugins because of fucking when I saw that Christopher Nolan was sitting in the fucking not Christopher Nolan.
Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, when I saw him, he was like, "Listen to this." Wow, I was like, "Yep." Right. He just pressed one key. I was like, all right.
The card information.
Yeah,
and,
expiration date.
Why is his name slipping my mind? The GOAT.
Hans Zimmer?
Yes. Him and Hans Zimmer.
Well, he did Interstellar.
Yes.
Yes.
They used the same plug-in.
The cornfield chase. Oh man.
That's one of the best score numbers ever.
I listened to that the other day. Just listening in the car, I was like,
that makes you want to
intense.
play it while you're driving.
Yes.
That hit me right in the dad in that part, dude. When she's running after him, and he's just crying, and she's crying. He looks underneath the blanket, she's not
and
there.
he's not. And she's. Oh man!
He's like, I gotta go save the world.
The world.
I have to go save the world.
The world, Craig.
Yes, and then she's like, it says stay. It says stay. You stay. And then later on in the movie, don't leave, you idiot, don't leave. Like, oh.
Too much. It hit me in like the military and the dad. It hit me in both.
Yeah. It's like
that's how it
like doing
goes.
something bigger than yourself. Like, hey man, it's the mission. I
gotta go.
Yeah.
The greater good.
See ya. He missed his grandchildren. His son was older than him at one point.
Family.
His daughter being an old woman.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you said you come back by the time you were the same age that you left. Well, I'm your age, and like, well, you're not coming back.
And that was like 2 hours later when she made that video. She sent that video and was like, I'm the same age as you now. That's the timing version. Sorry.
Back to Tenet.
Back to Tenet. Yeah, just the opening scene. I mean, and then, obviously, okay, someone's saving somebody. It's a heist, whatever. And then all of a sudden, he looks at the ground and
he sees the little bullet hole.
And
he sees the bullet hole.
Yes.
And then it starts shaking.
And then just goes through and there's like, what?
And then you see the little washer attached to the red string, and you're like,
and
that's going to mean something.
Hey, was he our guy? No, but,
And he leaves.
Yeah.
You just like, you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Is he do we do anything?
You're like, no, let's just fucking go.
Yeah, let's just go. We got a mission. Like, but he
mission.
Yeah, he just pushed rewind on a bullet.
And then
like,
they get in the van, they're like, we got the wrong guy. And we're like, fuck. And then that's my favorite part is when he's tied up to the chair.
Oh,
and
it's just
the
intense.
trains going opposite directions.
Yep.
I was like, that's like very like symbolic of like what's going on here.
cyanide and
And then the cyanide pill thing, where that scene was pretty intense, where he like jumps for the pill.
Yep. Get it out.
And then the boom title card, one of the best things ever. It wakes up in a
welcome to the afterlife. And I was like, what?
And then he was like, and then literally he was like,
that's how it was. That's exactly what happened.
Didn't he just fucking die?
Yeah. So,
what is going on?
And he's literally like, did I die? He's like, no, we were just trying to see if you were down for that.
It was a test. Like, what? Did my man get cleared? Nope.
First thing he asked, he was like,
he's all crying too. You ripped out my teeth. Like, yeah, it was a test.
Yeah,
like,
we had to do that.
What kind of test is that?
But yeah, they were just trying to see. Is she asleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just trying to see if he's like down for the cause.
Yeah.
And he's like super down for the cause. So down for the cause. He was the one that invented this whole mission, the Tenet mission. Oh. You find out at the end. Yes. He was like, so this was me the whole time. I'm the fucking man.
Like, what?
Yeah. And then that ending is pretty sad. After a few times you watch it, you're like,
dude, I wanted to cry with him at the end. Yeah. Just because he's like, like the more that the more that Robert Pattinson is talking, he's like, this is the for me it's the beginning of a new friendship, or for you,
he was like, for you this is the beginning, for me we're done here. Oh god damn it.
Who sent you? He's
like, you did.
He's like, oh fuck no. And he just rides off in the sunset on a helicopter. I'm like,
end of movie, and you're like, god. And then the Travis
greatest endings. I love that part. You did. I love that part. I was like, now just time.
He was like, well, who sent you? You're like, who sent you? He's like, isn't it obvious? He was like, you sent me.
You didn't read the signals?
You created. This was one big pincer maneuver.
Yes, was there a mental pincher or something like that?
Mm-hmm. And then boom, Travis Scott song plays.
Yeah. Dun. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Tenet.
Even in in the middle of it, like the scene that was intense was the highway chase scene. You know,
my favorite, the truck where they put the trucks in place.
Yes,
that one.
That was intense. Yep.
That's my favorite scene where they put the fire truck and the diesel
and then the ladder and.
My favorite, mine is the battle. The fucking
when
it's red team, blue team, and
one
just stuff
that's
exploding backwards and forwards.
Dude, when he shoots the rocket,
when the rocket gets sucked out and then they explode it.
Yes, it's like it explodes on, dude, and then it explodes.
You're like, what? She dead. You're like, no.
Yeah,
you're like, did
the
she
guy
get saved.
Yeah, the guy just gets and then.
Oh yeah, the guy gets stuck in the wall.
And everybody, you're watching this happen,
and it's all happening at once.
You got red team moving forward, and then the blue team
moving backwards,
going backwards.
And they're like,
so yeah. So then when they load up, they're also landing.
They're
like,
leaving.
It doesn't make sense, bro.
You're trying to figure out, you're like, does that mean that the mission was a success, or what does that mean? And you can't. They're like, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We're just doing what we do. We don't know.
I was thinking they should do something like that in Call of Duty. Try to pull that off, the technology of that.
Okay.
How could you do that? Would you have to have one mission or one game of like team deathmatch or something like that, or search and destroy?
You would have to do Warzone type stuff.
Yeah. You would have to do some kind of Warzone.
A drop. Yeah.
It would have to be big.
And then one team is
red
forward.
Yes.
The other one's inverted.
But it would still have to be.
But how would one game would have to be played already, and then they would have to get those CPUs.
It's just too much, bro. So you're playing a game that already happened the battle before, but it was never happened.
You could do something because people do know those maps like the back of their hand.
Oh,
like when you watch
easy.
like these Twitch streamers, like when they move, you're
they
like,
know the spawn
you know
points.
exactly
Yes.
where you are. So if you figure like how to make the winner team the backwards team, and you're like you have to do what you did before, or some shit, somebody will become
something
good
like
at that
that.
fucking game.
Or you play. Hear me out. You play forward.
Follow us, guys.
Let's go.
The next game you play again, same people. Round 2.
Yeah, it would have to be
backwards, back-to-back games. That could something like that.
Had to be back in a double.
And then you would you play as just blue team. Then whatever happens in the results of that game, like say there's like a capture the flag type thing happening, and then you play as the red team going backwards, where the same thing that just happened happens in reverse, and the same people. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm tracking. Like, man, like.
Yeah. That would be insane.
That would take a lot of, like, wouldn't that take like a lot of processing and stuff like that to create that done?
We can barely. They just did a Kong versus Godzilla update to Warzone.
What?
To Warzone?
That shit is barely loading right now. That shit is like, dude, you have a PS4. I'm struggling. This shit be rendering real 2D.
You're on 3G.
Yeah, that joint be looking real flat. It ain't no kind of depth or nothing. Ain't no grass. It's just green.
You're looking at GoldenEye, dog.
It's exactly what it looks like for like the first minute of the match. I'm like, I gotta stand.
Yeah, everybody's hands are like this.
And it's exactly what's happening.
Just let this map load.
Reload, you just.
That's all you see. And it's fucking Warzone, like, so you know this battle royale, so it's just shit. That's all. It's crazy. That I'm like, but yeah, that would be some processing, like.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That would have to be its own game, not even Call of Duty. It would just have to be a new game.
Like,
do they still make video games?
Uncharted.
But
that's back.
That was already.
That's the other way.
Wasn't that made before the movie?
Movies about.
Oh, like Scarface made into a game, or
like Transformers made to a game.
Yes, exactly. They don't do that anymore, do
they? No, I think it's because everybody's getting away from that. I think it's more of like.
I think that was cool pre-internet.
Yeah, they add movie stuff or characters into it. You know, like Fortnite. You know,
that's
like
right.
Marvel, Thor.
Yeah. They're doing. You know, Snoop Dogg's in Warzone now.
He was in.
I saw.
He was in like Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah.
He was the. He was the. Yeah, he was like the person who said they're getting A, but it would be like, yo, they're getting A.
Yo, for shiz, man. You know, like
something like that. You're like, Snoop Dogg, what are you doing?
That's a 187. I'm like, what?
Hey, yo, get him, cut.
Exactly
I said, forget about it, cut. No, but my number one is Looper.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys just watched that?
No,
I've watched Looper 15,000 times.
Ooh, nice.
15,000 times?
Yeah, easily.
Did you count it?
Easily.
No, but Looper,
Thank
one of the most creative stories involving time travel into the story.
Yeah.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis.
Bro, the makeup on him was crazy.
It was insane.
Because you can't even tell it was him.
Yeah. I remember being young and I was like, that says Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Where is he? Is that his voice?
Right.
And then when Bruce Willis looked at during the footage of while they were shooting, and he would look at Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he would be like, he would see his own twitch mannerisms because of how much Joseph Gordon-Levitt studied him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bruce Willis was like, holy shit,
That's me.
he was like, that's me, because he would the way he moves his eyes and stuff like
Yeah.
that, the way Bruce
The
Willis
squint.
acts.
He got the squint.
Yeah.
Like that wince he does
Yeah.
when he leans down. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did that.
He killed
That is
a
crazy.
hell of a
Yeah.
performance.
Oh, amazing.
And that part where we were talking about Looper, where it's the part where Bruce Willis sends himself back in time, and then without the head bag, whatever, and then knocks out his younger self, and then once he leaves, and then that's when Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the younger Bruce Willis, has 30 years to live, and then it goes year 1. And then year 2, year 10.
You think he
20.
made it out, but he didn't. He ended up becoming a fucking drug addict and shit.
Yeah.
Year 29, year 30. And then, boom, that same scene happens, sends him back in time in a different perspective. And you're like, holy shit. And then that's when I was saying, that's when the movie starts. That whole, hour setup, I was like, amazing. You're following, because you can follow it. You're like, oh, I get it. That's the tough thing about making time travel movies, is you have to establish rules that make sense, that are easy to understand, but it's also good. It's also cool.
It has to be relatable, not relatable, but understandable, but also appealing to the audience.
Yes,
because you can throw all these scientific numbers or names or
basic science
words.
makes. If you say, I think a lot of people understand what a Faraday cage is. It's like, oh, I kind of understand this has something to do with fucking waves, and that's what they said. They was like, yeah, you do something with a Faraday cage and it sends you back in time. I was like, oh, okay, energy manipulation of some sort. It makes fucking sense.
Yeah, and when you see the machine
simple.
he's in, where he locks him, it's he twists the wheel to lock it, and then it just gets hot, and you're like, oh, that's how they go back in time.
Yep.
But yeah, they don't show the time machine until an hour into the movie, and you're like,
and you think, and it's ugly.
It looks like a rusty, it's been there for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
It's cast iron, and you're like, oh,
because it looks like they do in what movie does it, where they do that rink-a-dink, oh, it was a thing at one point, but they made it illegal, so we figured out how to build it with these components. Kind of like Men in Black 2, when they had to go fucking redo Kay's memory.
Yeah.
And they had to go to the rink-a-dink bootleg joint.
Yeah.
He just put the scrap. That's what that
Men in Black
reminded me
3
of.
was one I was considering putting in my top 5.
that was an honorable mention
I was
because
about to say,
yes,
Men in
because
Black 3 did a.
who was that? That was
Josh Brolin
Josh Brolin. Yep.
plays a young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
The ending, cried. In theaters, cried.
Oh. He's crying right now. We're not even in
I
theaters.
can't fucking do it, man. When that movie came out, because you're like, oh, it's about to be another cash grab, and then you hear people were like, no.
Yeah.
You're like, you're gonna cry then. I was like, no fucking way.
And it's the perfect wrap up. It's an honest trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You
an
told
honest
told
trilogy.
me how important you are, and then closed the gate. I was like, that is some boo-hoo moment shit. Your dad knows who you are. And he was like, he just told me, I can't tell you, but he told me how important you are. Because they were looking at him to recruit him. That was the craziest part. They was looking at his dad to recruit him in the Men in Black. It's like, what? Nuts.
Yeah. Men in Black 3, honorable mention. I think I should get into my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Right now. One of mine, Men in Black 3.
Yeah, Men in Black.
Interstellar was one. And then Army of Darkness.
Yeah, okay.
With, what's his name? Bruce Campbell?
Yes, Bruce Campbell. He's a strong
It's
chick.
amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I guess I was little.
Yeah,
or
as
whatever,
far as the story behind
being
it.
scared of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And then watching Army of Darkness later in life, and being like, oh, this is supposed to. I never knew it was Evil Dead 3. but it's so funny and like over the top.
Oh, it was crazy. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
The fucking skeletons marching and
Yeah.
shit.
It's so like over the top. It's so like early night. It's just like this is almost like perfect comedy.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know. And Bruce Campbell, his voice and like the way he acts is so like it's like almost like he's not even real.
No, it's like a video game or something.
Yeah,
like a character.
Like someone just created this guy in a computer.
Yeah.
But I really liked the kind of the innocence of like Army of Darkness, where it's just kind of like you don't really have to take this too seriously.
Yeah,
like
no,
it's pretty.
It's fun to watch.
It's a nice, easy
good
watch.
movie.
I was thinking, I was like, I wish I watched this movie as a kid. Like I would have thoroughly enjoyed this.
The skeletons grabbing him, those
Yeah.
are like my favorite scene. He's like, God. He's like way overacting in that part.
You're like, come on, man.
Yeah, right.
It's a skeleton. It's
a
bones, dude.
skeleton. And
Phalanges,
you can see
man.
that the prop isn't really holding him. That
It's already closed and it's on.
Right,
It's pressed
exactly.
on his neck.
So
It's
he's
like
moving his
you know,
head real
he's like-
hard.
he's like, it's like, bro, the fingernails are like in front of your throat, bro.
Exactly.
You know, like,
That was
it's not
like-
around you, man.
Exactly. I was like, this movie is the greatest. That was one of my first B movies I loved.
That's definitely a
Because they
B
came on
movie.
Stars at 2 a.m. I was like, this is it, baby.
Yes.
and I think another one I didn't put in because I was a little like, is this time travel? Like Rob got me thinking, but Demolition Man was in there.
It did deal with it because it's like, oh, we gotta.
He was just frozen, and then went in. He just woke up.
They
in
were
the future.
cryostasis.
I think we were like, that's fair game though, because
It kind of is because
you're waking up in if
Yeah.
we got put to sleep for 40 years, we're still be 32,
We're-
whatever age we are now. You're in a different time though. You're like,
because it's almost like
you don't belong there. You're supposed to be dead.
yeah.
Those people are supposed to. He's supposed to be like 80-something years old. You're supposed
'Cause
to
again,
be about to die.
Because then it also shows time is relative.
Mm-hmm.
Time is relative. If you're
Yes.
frozen, you did not. I mean, I wouldn't say exist, but you did not.
Your
age.
molecules,
your time,
your
just
energy was frozen.
All
too.
of
You
that
just push
stuff
pause.
Was,
push pause, and then
That's
boom, you push play.
in a way time travel.
because I don't
It
even
is.
think-
You're traveling
yeah.
through time.
Exactly.
You can't even do that. We still don't have that technology. to stop aging.
Your energy and molecules and all of your genetic makeup is frozen and placed into a different part. Those same one, not that isn't aging. It's paused.
Yes.
And it's put into the
It's
future.
like TiVo.
Yeah.
You know, you
It's
just stop.
like deja vu, because that's
Yes.
what deja. Because that lets you know, like it was more. I guess you want to say like, instead of being just like particle based, like that person's existence is based off of like physics. These particles exist in this space at this time.
Mhm.
That's why deja vu was like you can't go anywhere because it didn't happen nowhere. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
We're looking.
You're
at
only
this
traveling
just
to this
this
point.
scope.
because these particles were. That's where this.
That's the
was
only thing we got
happening.
rendered, and
Eggs.
that's all we can see.
That's
so
the
that's
perfect way to
yes.
split it. This is
Only
all
thing
we
we
got
can-
rendered.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we got all these images, and then it creates a picture, so it creates that existence. But that's all we have enough energy for.
Can you look up that Jake Gyllenhaal movie that I was talking
Oh,
about?
I know what you're talking about.
Because that deal is like deja vu in that
What's
sense.
it called? Source code?
Source code, I think.
Mm.
I haven't seen
one.
that.
No, I haven't seen
Y'all
that.
haven't seen that
No.
one?
No.
I'm gonna spoil
Is it an
for
older
you.
one or?
Oh yeah,
It's
in
like
that-
06,
it's like
07.
deja vu
Okay.
time. You can always tell. Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe it took them 4 years to put it
Yeah.
out.
Time travel.
because it gave me deja vu vibes.
It was
yeah.
frozen and they got
Yeah.
released.
No.
No, listen, learning from Nate though, that does happen a lot. Like some of these, like Morbius, took like 2 years to come out. You're like, damn,
Yeah.
that does
Yeah,
change
there's-
the movie's look.
There's
Yeah.
projects written 20 years ago, and then
Mhm.
you know they're like, "Oh, we got this script." You
Yeah,
know, that was in
especially with
shelves.
the whole COVID thing. Like everything
The
got pushed
COVID
back.
thing, yeah.
Everything got pushed. That
Mhm.
James Bond movie, fucking
The
Top
James
Gun.
Bond movie. For a second, I was like, I think that movie's cursed because it was being delayed before
Yes.
COVID.
Yep.
It was just like, nope, and then COVID happened. It's like,
I'm
oh fuck.
Well,
and then,
now we gotta do this.
Daniel
And
Craig's
then
like, I'm still getting paid.
yeah, and then Top Gun Maverick got pushed.
yeah, a lot.
Yes.
I can't wait for that to come out. Those
Yo,
previews in the movies,
They
I was
got me
like,
pretty
I was
jacked.
like, I gotta go
Yo.
see that fucking
Tom
movie,
Cruise,
dude.
man, I don't know what he's doing, but man, it's
Seeing
gonna be
his
good.
face when it's going
He's like,
up.
he's like,
I
Who
was.
are
I
they
think
fighting? I wonder. Who are they going against?
The goddamn Koreans.
I wonder if it's the Koreans. It can't be Russians again, can it?
That would be.
That would be a little rough right now. That might not be the time to put
No wonder it got pushed back. It's getting pushed back again.
This might not be the time to put that
That would
movie
be
out,
the
guys.
worst.
Yeah, we look it up release date 2023. Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Oh,
like,
shit.
man.
So I guess we win.
You'd be like, war's over. Top Gun Maverick. out.
Top Gun Maverick.
But me and Menda saw the trailer together, I think, and we were like, Tom Cruise is flying that jet right now.
Bro,
He does his own stunts.
he does it.
You know how many? I think what is that? To be a fighter pilot, the hours for to be
It's
a
insane.
civilian.
It's
To
insane.
be a civilian and become a fighter pilot,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be a
Yeah.
level rich
mean-
because the training is.
Like, he has a pilot with him during those scenes, but he's also in there like flying too. It's just that the pilot is there to assist for anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's taking the G's. He's
Yeah.
doing all that training.
That pilot's there for
Like
like probably insurance purposes.
Yes,
and all.
like hey,
Yeah, it's like having
if
that
anything
person
happens,
tied
like,
to the back of you while
hey,
you're
I got
skydiving.
you. Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
But he can skydive.
You can fly a helicopter and
this dude is
bro,
spec ops.
this dude is a military dude.
This dude is spec ops, dude.
In Mission Impossible Fallout, he was flying that helicopter,
He
bro.
was flying that helicopter on the fucking when he was on the side of the AC.
The plane, that was him, just with the harness, but it's like,
Yeah, when he's on the side of that building with the gloves, that's really
yep.
him.
And then when he jumped and broke his leg,
When he jumped
yes.
building to building,
Yep, he broke his leg. That's him limping.
In the movie, when he's limping, broke
Yes.
his leg, kept running.
Bro, he's
What
always
a
running
man.
in his
do
movies.
what you can do Mission Impossible and Top Gun as many times as you
Yeah,
want. if you're
I'm
that
okay.
badass. I
That's
would pay for
the
that.
only
Dude.
franchise I'm okay with making 7 movies
I
is
don't
Mission
give a
Impossible.
shit.
Get up to 10.
I
Get up to
don't
10.
I will
care.
take 10 Mission
Yeah,
Impossible.
I will take
He's
Mission
definitely
Impossible
on-
10,
he's
the
on
last
stem
Impossible
cells.
mission.
Yeah, he's a cyborg. He's on stem cells. He's on fucking.
He's a
Yeah,
vampire.
Scientology.
He can't be 50 something. He's the same age as your
Yeah, it's
dad.
got to be a part of it.
You're onto something, bro. You're onto something.
Thank you, L. Ron. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you, dude. Thank you, L. Ron. You must be real, dude.
Yeah, he's
Thank you,
onto
Big
something.
Lizard, with
Yeah.
the volcano face.
I know.
dude.
What was that movie that was based off of it or something?
The Master.
Is it The Master?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. But yeah, Tom Cruise, I mean, Mission Impossible, get them as much. Tom Cruise, make as many as you can. Those are great franchise movies. I could watch them.
Ghost
from
Protocol, all time.
Yeah.
Number 3 was one of my
Number
favorites.
3 with
Whoa.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, yes.
That scene.
He was the.
Fucking
do it. You know what?
Crazy.
I'm going to shoot her.
I'm
gonna shoot her. I'm going to shoot her.
The way he
gonna
delivered
shoot
Philip
that
Seymour Hoffman.
monologue.
That
Dude.
when I think of
was a
Philip Seymour
bad
Hoffman, I think of
dude.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
I think
Yes,
that was the
man.
first time you saw him
He was-
scared in the movies. Is the third one?
Yeah,
The
he's-
first. I was like,
no,
that's the first time you
no.
saw Ethan Hunt. Like you're like,
He's
Like,
crying.
Oh,
oh
he's
shit,
crying.
you got him, dude.
Yeah.
Like you fucking got
And
him.
Philip Seymour
Maybe
Hoffman.
this mission is impossible.
Maybe this-
You know, like, oh,
real.
no.
You're like you outsmarted the
Yeah.
dude who's like the
Where's
the
the rabbit?
now
And
he's
Philip Seymour
MacGyver.
Hoffman.
Yes.
This dude on when you're talking about thinking on your toes.
And the
Jesus.
math he knew when he was from building to building. He's like, what? Like this. I'm like, bro, he has a dry erase on a clear board. Like, he's doing formulas. Like,
Who does that? That movie.
How do you
every
do that
movie like
for-
that makes me want to clear board.
yes,
I
yeah.
be trying to write with dry erase marker on my fucking windows. It doesn't do the same thing.
It doesn't. Like, what kind of marker are you doing, bro?
It doesn't do the same.
Yeah.
thing.
Is it a matte pen or what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, where are
Yeah.
you getting
It's
this
gonna be
from?
some kind of
like,
grease
it's
pen.
not the
Yeah.
hotel
This is
concierge,
some
you know.
CIA shit you got, dude.
Yeah.
'Cause this does my
It
dry
comes from
erase
your
is-
satchel or whatever. It's like,
right. What the fuck?
you know? Yeah, and then
It
he's like,
blows up.
how far is this from? This is 104.
He like writes scales. Like,
Yes. And then he's like formula, and I'm like, I think that was a cursive or something. Like that's time travel right there. You know, like, God
Mission
dang.
Impossible 3, time travel
Yeah, he's
movie.
like, I could do it. Yeah.
yeah.
I just like how they always say, you know, it's impossible or something like that. I was like,
There's been
there it is
7
right
of
there.
them.
Yes.
Right. It's impossible. Just say
Yeah.
4-man team saving the world every
Yes.
single time.
It's impossible.
Ving Rhames at the top of his game.
Bro, Ring Rams.
And then
We have the meats.
But yeah, where are we at, bro?
Oh, we're at an hour 8. We can still go.
Hey,
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
So I mean, we went through our top 5, but yeah, Tenet. I mean, I just
That's an all timer.
that's
Oh,
all time.
Shit, I'm sorry. I was gonna go back to source code real.
Oh, yeah,
quick.
source
Oh,
code.
yeah.
Go, go, go.
It was like deja vu in the sense that source code is about essentially they found a body after a terrorist attack. And Jake Gyllenhaal just happened to be an army guy who was on leave, like an army intel guy who was on leave.
Seems about right.
In his mind, I guess the entire movie is said he thinks that he's like waking up in a simulation. So like he's on the train, it gets blown up, and he's like, "What the hell?" They're like, "Hey man, you were on a mission or something like that." What's really happening is that we're somehow they figure
they're
out
like replaying.
We're projecting
somehow they
this.
figure out how to get people back in time without being back in time. It's gonna. I gotta follow me here.
Okay, go.
Yes.
I'm just gonna tell you the ending. Jake Gyllenhaal's dead.
Oh
Technically.
fuck, dude.
So they show him.
What is it, Sixth Sense?
They show him, and there's like this much of his body.
Yo, the
left.
twist of the other Sixth Sense.
They
You're
show,
the,
like, yeah, that's exactly.
you're the
what it
dude with the
is, though.
hairpiece. That's Bruce Willis the whole movie.
No.
And then oh man, that Sixth Sense part. But no, so they the ending scene is him showing him he has like this much of his body left. Like his lungs are hanging out. He doesn't have any of that. And his head is like fucked up.
Mangled.
But they have something like
It's like a
this,
Neuralink.
It looks like a beam thing, and they have like a Neuralink, and it's all plugged into his brain. And like, well, since you got blown up, we figured out some technology to be able to like save your brain long enough to replay the situation. So they're like,
that's
somehow they're like, if we can put your consciousness back then, you can stop the terrorist attack from happening. So they were putting his consciousness in. That's what the ending was. He was like, he wrote them a letter, like, cause in the movie, that body piece, they're like, oh, he did the mission, so they shut him off. He's dead now, like for good. Like they press a button, he's done. But they show a scene, he's still alive, cause he's the simulation's supposed to be done. He's like, I don't know if you guys know what you created, but thank you. And that's just the end of the movie. Like his consciousness. He saved the train.
Crazy. I still want to watch it. I don't give a fuck about spoilers.
Like
so
alive.
he stays alive in that
moment, whatever they kept putting him back in, because he kept failing, he kept losing,
dying and
he
dying
kept
and
blowing
dying.
up. Then he finally does it, and then because he thought once he did that, then it was going to be. They were like, okay, you're not going to be needed in this time anymore. So he was like, we're going to reset you, like you're going to be done. But he's like, I'm not going back. And then he like falls in love during this time. It's real like it's some weird it's deja vu. That's where it's time travel in the sense of particles being somewhere at it. This is more consciousness based this time. You know, like the supreme consciousness type thing of like what makes a human is this what that means. That's what this type of movie. I was like, this shit is.
That's wild.
And then I was like, it came out 2011. Okay, so I was 21. I was able to understand, but it was still like mind blowing.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
It's crazy.
I gotta watch that
It was more
one.
philosophical than it was like science.
Have you guys ever seen Southland Tales with The Rock and Sean William Scott?
Southland Tales. When you said Sean William Scott, I thought you were about to say Walking Tall.
Yeah.
No. It's a.
Is that the one with the plywood?
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's
the
get
two.
out here, monkey.
No, Sean William Scott. They did the rundown.
Oh, that's the rundown. The rundown.
My Walking Tall.
The Walking Tall was John Knoxville.
Yes.
And there's this movie called Southland Tales. Seems like a movie Rob would see.
Yes.
And
Sounds like it.
I watched it the other night, like 2 nights ago. And I watched it and I was like, holy shit. It was like prophetic. I was like, I needed to watch this movie because I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. I couldn't tell you. It's like, it takes place, or the movie came out in 2006, but it takes place in like 2008. So in the future. And like it was July 3rd, 2008. So you can see like it can go political, July 4th.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's World War III between like
makes sense.
Iraq, Syria.
Oh, it's like currently happening in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
and literally the first like 5 minutes is Justin Timberlake narrating everything that's going on in the movie, in the world. Trust me. You're going to want to watch it.
Okay.
And in time, he gets to do that.
That's not time travel. I was like, why didn't I say in time? But that's not time travel.
Nah, that's just
time is money.
It's just time.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this movie, The Rock plays like this. He's a actor, like a famous superstar actor, but he's like wanted because he was found in like in this battlefield like during the war, and then he was like wanted, but he kept hiding from, and he's wanting to like expose all the secrets of like, he's basically a woke dude. And then he's like trying to expose the secrets of like society, like media, and it's like just the way it aged blew my mind. And like I'm explaining this like not as best as I can, but like you guys, like there's so many levels to this movie, and I know Rob would get it more than me. But
I am not a smart man.
But it's just like I know
that sounds in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, just the way they explain everything, the world building they do.
I love World War III stuff because,
like, trust me, Rob.
It's the perfect backdrop for being a piece of shit human.
Like post-apocalyptic kind of thing.
No, I like more like current.
Like it's happening.
Either on the verge or happening.
Like it could happen.
Because
like
you
more
can get
realistic.
more philosophical. Because I think it's like Nate was saying, it's more current. Post-apocalyptic is more like
something happened.
Yeah,
like,
it seems more biblical to me, like a warning tale.
It really is.
Yeah, but these ones are definitely like the prophecies. Like
this one, the way it's like, the way it's set up, like you just gotta watch it. Like it's the only like land they have is like California and Nevada, and that's it.
Damn.
It's like you gotta watch.
We lost. America lost.
Yeah, because that's what it was like. America got attacked, like nuclear,
like surprise.
Yeah, and then like people like came over, and then
that's the only way you'll beat us.
Yeah.
So by the way, guys, got you, Dom. Sorry. It's the only way you beat us. You got surprise attacks. You can't beat us. Bitch.
Hey, look over here. It's like, nah, you got me.
You got me.
Yeah, only once.
Yeah, we're Americans. You got me on that one, buddy.
But yeah, this movie Southland Tales, one of the craziest, like crazy in a way where it's just like,
what's it on? What's it on, babe?
It's on the Stars channel on Amazon Prime.
Lit.
Trust me, like please, we'll talk about it next week.
I'm gonna take a look at it.
Please, guys, and I need to know your guys' thoughts on this because I need to like be assured that I'm not the only one that thinks this highly of this movie. Do not look at the Rotten Tomatoes score.
No.
Do not.
I don't care about that other stuff.
Like, don't look at any ratings.
People don't understand those kind of movies.
No.
Just trust me, guys. Like,
I trust,
yeah.
Have you seen there was that movie I was telling Amanda about where she woke up one day and that was The Fountain. Yeah. That was also.
You told me to watch that. I have it on Blu-ray. I want to watch it.
Time is relative type deal. But then there's a movie I also watched that made me cry called The Wave, and I was boo-hoo crying. That movie's time travel-y in the sense of like he does like a psychedelic drug.
Nice.
They were like, "What? It's some kind of powder." He's like, "What is this?" He was like, "Hey man, just like." He meets some chick and she, he's the uptight insurance lawyer.
Okay.
He meets some chick. He's like, hey, you're his friend's like, come on now. His friend is Donald Faison.
That name sounds so familiar.
Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His friend he's like, come out with me. You won a big case today. You make sure that family didn't get this money, blah, blah, blah. He meets this chick. The chick is like, you're an insurance lawyer. You're the fucking devil. You need to fucking relax. Come to this house party with me. He does some kind of drug, and he does the drug, and he sits back in the chair, and then it goes like that.
Ugh.
It spins, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And it's daytime all of a sudden. Then he goes outside. He goes outside. And he's like, his job is calling. Because that's what you're thinking. You're like, oh yeah, I've done psychedelics. I'm like,
yeah, that's the story. Yeah. That's how it happens.
You're like, oh,
that's a Saturday night, bro. Yeah, that's a Saturday night, bro.
Time disappears.
Yes, that's the weekend, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, that's exactly what happened.
You gotta go back to work. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
you gotta go back to work.
I just got off of work. Fuck, I gotta go back to work. I am messed up.
His wife is calling him. It's like
I just relived trauma 100 times. Yes. Like it's the first time every time. That's exactly what it is.
Bong, Amanda watched that last night too. But no, so this movie is he's like something happens. He'll like get inside of a taxi and he'll close the door. And he thinks he's tripping still the whole time because they're like, he Googles it and they're like, yeah, psychedelics, depending on how much you can take, it can last like 24 hours. And he's just like, it's Jake Long, fucking dude from
Sounds familiar.
Nope. I was gonna say like, Howie Longson,
the Walrus guy,
Strong Jaw,
left guard.
Yeah, no, the Eagles,
fucking Tusk.
Justin Long.
Justin Long.
Justin
That's
Long.
his name. Justin Long. Yeah.
Okay.
Justin Long is the main. He's the guy.
Ooh.
So he slams the door and then he's like,
Perfect role. It sounds like.
what the
Dodgeball.
fuck?
Always
And then
always
it's like
dodgeball.
it is psychedelic again, and like he'll just be sitting there, then the room will just be like boom,
Ah,
and then he's
man.
like his balls turned into like a demon face, and he's like, what the fuck
It's always
is happening?
like weird, like seeing psychedelic movies trying to portray
the
and you're like,
second.
If you it's one of those, and I know people hate when psychedelic users say it. They're like, but you have to do it to. It's really hard to explain because it sounds stupid. It sounds really like, hey, time doesn't exist when you're a drug. You're like, yeah, okay, dude, whatever.
Yeah, that's dumb. You're like,
you're like, my time. Like, you think it's like when you're at work and you're like, oh, hours pass fast. No, you really feel like. Well, there's a time where when I did acid, and I asked a man, I was like, isn't it like, it's like 1 o'clock, right? She said, it is 10 a.m. I took the acid at like 8:30. I thought it was 1 o'clock. We were laughing for an hour and a half. I thought the entire day passed.
Amazing.
I thought the entire day passed.
Classic.
So it was, and it really, in my head, I was like, it has to be 1 o'clock. Like, there's no way it's not that
like
late.
my inner clock is accurate.
And if you're like, oh, it's actually, and you realize the inner clock is a real thing, like all that stuff starts to like fuck.
Exactly.
Time is relative, bro. Time is relative.
That's why these movies are fucking.
And that's
great.
that's literally what Einstein said, is that like 1 minute can feel like 1 second, and 1 second can feel like a lifetime.
Yes.
Literally what Einstein said, and I'm like,
because it's the same thing.
weird.
Like when you're on a weekend, you're having fun, time speeds by.
You're like, oh shit, it's only Saturday.
Let's go outside Sunday, and then all of a sudden, when you're at work, an hour is like, oh my god, like this whole day is lasting forever.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, but that's why, like, what time, man, time.
That's why it's so cool, like not looking at the clock, like all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's always a good day. I feel like.
Yeah.
We're just being like, you know what? I haven't checked the time once, and you're just like having a great day.
Yeah.
I always think that's the best.
I mean,
thing in
you
the
can still
world.
be productive, you still be working and everything, but then you're like, oh, it's already this time, and then you go, and then you don't look at the clock anymore, and then you're having a good time vibing, and you're like,
yeah, that's why I don't like. I
day.
literally, that's the reason why like I don't like wearing watches. Like I hate time.
really?
I don't like time at all. Like it's just like I don't give a fuck. Really? Like I'll just like if I really want to know, like I'll just check the phone, obviously. But it's just like as far as having that attached to me, it's like a weird philosophical thing to me. But
No, it makes sense.
to sound cool.
No, I understand. Okay.
So
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was thinking. That's the only thing I was thinking. I was like, the more responsibilities you get, the more it becomes like, the more it seems like it's less of it, and then the more it seems like it goes faster. It's like, it's like when you're trying to divide your time amongst stuff, it's just. That's why I think those movies, like you're saying, time is relative. Not even just in like a scientific sense, in a philosophical sense.
In a philosophical sense, you realize you're like, hey, everybody has the same 24 hours.
Everybody.
Same 24
What a
hours.
bar.
Yes.
That's
Everybody has
that's
the
the one
same.
that hits you every single time.
So you think about it, everybody starts the same 24 hours. You got people that seem, oh man, this day's forever. Other people, I did not have enough time. But it's the same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
Same amount of grains of salt or sand or whatever in your hourglass. You got, everybody has the same. But it's what you do with it.
And to some people, that seems like a lifetime. Like you were saying, some people, that's just like, this shit took forever.
Yeah, and that's why
life sucks for them. And like every day is just a
drag. Yes, and that's why you got to take matters into your own hand. Make time work for you.
Take control.
Take control, and you just you suck up life every day, because every day is a new life. Every day is a new life.
Yeah.
So it's just
Larry June once says, "You say you only live once, but I live every day."
Damn bars.
You gotta. That's how you gotta live life.
Yep.
And where are we at?
We're at 123.
123.
No, but
It's good.
It's very. It is. It's not time. Is we all die. We all have the same 24
Yep.
hours.
And we're all guaranteed
To
die.
Yeah. We're all gonna. We've all.
Two
The
things.
only thing in life.
Yeah.
Two things in life that are guaranteed: taxes, death.
Yep. We all lost people. You're like, oh, that can happen.
Like
next
that.
day.
Yep.
And that.
Your friend is gone.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
That's the end of their time.
those reminders you get where you're like, all of this everything can just be gone.
Gone.
Everything.
All of it.
That's the shit that.
And just
really,
like with time, you know how it's linear and like a thin as piece of paper. That's how delicate life is.
That's how delicate. That's why I love time. Time travel movies do.
When they hit those philosophical points,
they make life very precious in all time travel movies. They make your life. That's why Interstellar was such a banger. Because you didn't. It's like he almost got time back with his daughter, especially when she's like.
And then that at the end of her time,
and she's like, nobody should see their child die.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
still your daughter.
I have my family. You know, go live yours.
Yeah.
Go live your life.
Yes.
Because he's what 124 or whatever.
Yeah, he's old as shit.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
He was old as shit.
And then that's why she's like, oh, her family's coming, like family, and then you got all these people in the
everybody in the
hospital. Everybody's looking at him like
grandchildren. These kids are gonna know their great grandfather. Some of them are like the same age as their grandfather. Isn't that? That's like, if we did our DNA test, you're technically this many years older than me, but we're the same age right now.
God
what would
damn.
you do to have
Imagine those
What would you do to have that kind of like? I can meet my grandparent when they're 40, because that's like a great age of wisdom.
Yeah,
that's like you're
established. You're wise. You have experience, whether good and bad. Like that's the point. Because then I think of it like my grandpa. You know, he when I look at the age difference, he was 60 by the time I was born.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts when you
That's
think about
nuts. So now like I'm 30, it's like how was he when he was 30? You know, I wasn't even a thought. Mm-hmm. But to go back in time and see that, experience that, I'm like, yo, like, what would the conversation be? What would we experience?
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He was with his mom and dad in high school.
Yeah. Almost fucked his mom.
It blows his. And then you realize, like, I think we've talked about it, like, just time travel movies and technology.
That's what Back to the Future is about. My mom's hot.
Rock and roll.
I was like, this movie's teetering the line right now, guys.
You don't get this, but your kids will. Here you go.
You are teetering the line right now with incest.
Ooh, what's your
Take it easy.
Hey, take it easy over there.
But yeah.
Technology they always get, like, that's funny to watch what they think. Space Odyssey.
Ooh,
they're the
you seen 2001?
Yes. Yep.
They're the great. I think they're the closest.
Middle school.
They're like the closest to what tech is now.
Yeah.
They got it like the closest to what
invented FaceTime.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
And that was
like, how is FaceTime?
1969.
Had monkeys in there, you know,
yes.
I remember I watched it when I was in like 6th, 7th grade for the first time.
Watching was it Mr. Wentz was it rec class or whatever, wood shop or whatever like that. Like for some reason, like we're supposed to build those
wood shop.
Yeah, we're supposed to build those funny cars, with those CO2 things, but we're watching 2001: Space Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what a movie! But like, I watched it in middle school, didn't get it. I was like, first 30 minutes, I'm like, they're monkeys, dude. I thought it was a space movie.
Like, what are they doing? Like, they're just chilling. Yeah. What's that robot? Hal? Yeah. Hal? Yeah.
Hal, that's what it is.
Hal 9000.
Hal is Robinson, that Netflix movie.
Mitchell's
versus
the Machines.
They
went off of that.
Yeah.
That's Powell. Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah.
Skynet.
Skynet.
Yeah, Skynet.
TARS is Interstellar.
Yep.
Everybody does. So everybody's taking it straight from Space Odyssey.
Everything.
Everybody.
Every sci-fi movie you'll ever see is.
I loved TARS. TARS was a great representation. You're like, that's how I think robots can't be that advanced. Like, they got that right. Like, it can't be the fact that this AI is talking to you is advanced enough. It doesn't have to be
self-aware.
It doesn't look like a human.
Like self-aware.
It's self-aware. It's like a thing he's talking to, like it's his friend.
Like the sarcasm meter or something like that.
Yeah, that shit was great, but it's just this big blocky thing that looks.
It looked like the monolith.
From
2001.
That's exactly what it looked like. But then when he was like, "You gotta save old girl," I love that part. With
he goes hard.
I was like, he's only got 2 legs. I was like, I'm like, yo, he's got wheels, bro.
Old buddy's going like 40 miles per hour right now.
That's 4-wheel drive. That's 4-wheel drive.
In the water. He let you know in a heartbeat.
But yeah, 2001: Space Odyssey. I remember we talked about it a while ago on the podcast. But like, that's one of those movies you gotta watch like every 5 years to see what you pull from it. Every time.
Like, you get a different perspective every time you watch it.
Every time.
Yep.
And because with that movie, like the last time I watched it, it was like a year or two ago. And like that movie taught me like we are the aliens. Like the universe is inside of all of us. And so like when you see the way like that's not time travel, like the way they do like life, death, and rebirth in like one big sequence, and like the Stargate sequence they had with all the beams and shit, and like just how crazy like that could be pulled off. You know what I mean? And obviously me and Rob always mentioned the ape scene, which is actually way more important than I thought. Way more.
It's like the most important part of the
movie. Then I first
that explains
thought, like,
everything.
Yeah, when seeing it for the first time as like a fucking 11-year-old.
Yeah, you're like, hey, this is where we came from. Like Monkey, I was just telling the man, we were talking about this today. I was like, look what we've done in 300,000 years.
Insane.
Like a crocodile is 150 million years old. Like they haven't changed. Look what we've done. Now we're going to like, we're in space.
Seeing the monkey beat the other monkey with the bone, and you're like, this changes everything. Like, this changes the world.
Yes, upgrade. You've been promoted. He prestiged.
You're like, oh fuck yeah.
Got a new skin.
And then he throws the bone up, and the bone's flipping, and then jump cut to the spaceship.
Yep.
And you're like, we've come.
Cool ass spaceship too.
Oh yeah.
Cool ass spaceship.
And you're like, we've come this far. And then seeing, and the whole Interstellar takes from 2001 from the spinning ship. And then locking it in. I was like, that's
that scene was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So match the spin. You're like, what? And then he's going. I'm like, oh.
And Interstellar did a great job of like, cause you think weightless in space, but you're like, no, these people are like they're going super fast. Most of the
that's
time.
G's right there.
Yes. Like when you
there's
out,
just no gravity.
That's it. There's just no gravity. Yeah. This thing is spinning the same speed as the Earth, so that's like 840 miles per hour.
Fucking.
Like to us, that's
like you remember that video of the helicopter pulling up the girl in the desert in the stretcher?
That video is famous. I think that happened the year I moved here. I was like, this is the greatest place ever. I was like, content for days in Arizona. Period.
Yes. Man, that was crazy. But and then also too when in Interstellar, one of the craziest scenes that just still gets me like, oh my gosh, is when he ejects after going into a black hole and it's just him by himself. Ooh,
yeah.
You know, he's vibrating like ooh, ooh, like he's by himself, just breathing by himself in a void, and then he just goes closer to that right there by himself.
That big horizon.
Yes.
Like, that is.
It's just it was cool because there was no music there. It was just him.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, like man.
Space is one of those things like you have to cinematically pull off the emptiness and the void and the being alone.
The silence.
You know,
that's what drives people crazy.
Go ahead and say it, Ad Astra.
Ad Astra.
I was about to say, I was like, if you say that, you better say Ad Astra.
I gotta watch that,
dude. Oh my god. If anybody has a connection or disconnection with their dad,
that's actually probably if you have a disconnection, you could probably really understand this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very again, I think it hit me in the military. Like you meet a lot of people in the military who truly believe that the mission is above their family
all the time.
All the time, every day.
Because Tommy Lee Jones, you fucking hate him in this movie.
Really?
You like the way the videos you see him in the beginning of the movie where he's just like, no, I need to do this. All my men are dead. I'm out here alone, but I'm not going home.
I have to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and he's all the way out in Neptune. Because the blue, what's the blue planet?
Neptune. That's Neptune.
Neptune. So he was at Neptune.
Yeah, because that scene with the big blue planet, and it's it looks amazing, but like the story of like basically this guy, Brad Pitt's character, is sent out to space to go retrieve his dad and save him, bring him back home, and then the whole movie, the set pieces and all in the entire throughout the movie, like just how spiritual that scene is where he's landing on the moon is so good, and you feel every single like the feeling of that. You know what I mean? Like you're like, holy, this dude is landing. This is larger than life. This is bigger than anything. And then you get to the moon, and there's an Applebee's there, and you're like, this is bound to happen.
You know that movie? I was like, oh, that's definitely happening. And then Bandits, we were like, this is happening.
And then they go in the neighborhood.
Where they go to the landing place, like the town, I guess they have on the moon, to the place where you go to Mars.
Yeah.
And while they're on their way there, there's pirates there. They're monkeys. They call them pirates, and they basically try to attack them. They try to. That's Chevy barking out my window, probably.
Oh, I'm about to say, I was like, she don't never
bark. Yeah. So the pirates try to like hijack their like rover they're on, driving to the station to leave to Mars, and then then he gets to Mars, and then the cinematography throughout the entire movie is amazing. But when he's on Mars,
no sound, by the way, because they make it accurate. They're on the moon.
Sound design is
so there's
zero.
Yeah,
like no nothing,
and it's amazing.
You hear that
breathing and everything.
You hear all of that, but you don't hear. There's no tire noise. There's no skirting.
And that's the thing about him is that like the reason why they're sending him all the way out to Neptune is because there was like a crash at the space station, International Space Station, and he was the only one to have his heart rate stay below like 60 or
he's
something.
Calm. He's crazy. He's another one of those like Top Gun. He's just made for
it.
Your body's just made for that type of stress. He's clear. Like the space station crashed into something, and he was able to save a lot of people. He was very
that's the sound design in that scene, and that's the beginning of the movie where the space station like crashes into something or whatever. Like that, all it is, you hear him just taking deep breaths the entire time, and you're like, dude, this.
Oh, so space elevator. That's what it is.
Yeah, because they had the ladders. He was doing like maintenance or some shit.
They have a thing that literally goes from Earth to space now as a space elevator.
Damn.
It's pretty dope. But then he goes to Mars, and there's like the lady who played the moon child, the girl that was born on the moon. She's like on Mars in that little station.
Yeah.
And
they're all funny. Look, they're weird, right? Like
they act like there's something about them.
Yeah, they tell you they're like, yeah, I'm a mooner, or like whatever, like I'm a lunar baby or whatever.
Yeah.
So their socialization, like everything is
it's so different. You're like, there's some not off. It's just like
you're not American. You're not anything. You're not from Earth.
I think that's
you're not Earth.
You're not of this.
You're
Earth.
not of Earth. Your whole being has been.
You see, which is amazing acting.
That's weird. That's crazy.
Because she's socially. Not autistic, but she's like socially awkward. She like stares at him and is like.
She's just. I don't know. She's an alien.
Yeah.
She's literally an alien.
That's what they're trying to get across. She's an alien.
That just hit me right now.
Yeah.
She's literally an alien.
Aliens.
She's a moon baby.
But she's of like human. She is a
descent.
human. Yeah.
Like Dune. They're Dune. They're actually from Earth in that movie, but we left Earth like 12,000 years ago or something.
They're like 10,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
And then
I think Star Wars is like that too. They said Star Wars is supposed to be.
But that's in the past though.
Is it?
Because it happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far.
Damn, that's some time travel for you. Right? They're monkeys and they're having lightsaber fights and shit like
with
that.
Spaceships and could go to hyperspace.
Yes.
Different galaxies. Time travel.
Yeah, also a different galaxy.
Yeah, of course. It makes sense.
And the galaxy far, far
Which
away.
means that it could happen.
Yeah.
And that it probably did.
Right now,
it did already.
That's where George Lucas is from. He's trying to let us know.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening where I'm from.
Yeah, if you read Seth Rogen's book, if you read Seth Rogen's book, he talks about he showed up with his friend really high to a meeting with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. And he said, those dudes are from a different galaxy. He's like, they're definitely some weirdo. Like, they literally, it seems like in the book, I think he said, it seems like they have a spaceship to where if the world's ending, they're leaving.
They're ready. They're like,
fucking, what's that movie where Brad? God, this is the end.
This is the end?
No.
Where the world's ending?
No. Leo movie, Netflix.
Oh, don't look up.
Don't look up,
bro.
Yeah.
That part of that movie, I'm like, that's real too. I think stuff like that. George Lucas. I tell people Michael Jackson was an alien. There's no way you made music that amazing and then you just die all of a sudden from a doctor overdose. Yeah, right, bitch. You went back to fucking Neptune for some shit.
You were done. You're like, hey, I'm cool. I did what I did.
Look at these dumbass idiots.
He goes back. He's like, guys, I did it.
Yeah, he's like the regular dude on their planet. He comes.
He lost a bet. He's like, okay, I'm done. Can't go. Can't go back home, guys.
Right.
Come on.
I made $1 billion like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, but what were we talking about? Ad Astra?
Astra, and I also like how you brought up it's a spiritual journey because there are like schools of religion that believe that that's how you progress through. Like after you die, you go to each planet.
And
essentially.
yeah,
Like
so the further you go, you're progressing.
Yeah, so that's why like the astrology is such a big deal.
And that's a big thing. Is like each planet, like you go to the moon, you go to Mars, you go to when they're passing Jupiter.
That's what the gods are about. Like Jupiter and Neptune, like each one represents a type of being or feeling or something.
And seeing it's such a different tone, atmosphere, everything on each planet, and you're like, how are they doing? And the colors play such a huge part of it.
Yeah, they do.
And how like
what's Neptune the god of?
See,
but they usually have like they'll do something like that, like elemental, but they usually have some kind of like god of patronage or some shit like that. Like they'll have some like secondary thing. I wonder if it had anything to do with that Astra, like. Because his journey was very spiritual. Like, a lot of stuff, when he was on his way to Mars, Mars is inhospitable. It was not a hospitable trip for him to Mars. He was like, it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neptune was the god of water and the sea.
Water and the sea.
That's it. Okay.
But I think they Ad Astra played on more of the blue, like, loneliness, sadness, because that's where Tommy Lee Jones was. And he was just out there on his own. Yeah. And then seeing when he gets there, and Tommy Lee Jones is like, I never cared about you. He's like, I only cared, like, I never even thought of you.
What?
That part right there, I wish people would pay attention to more. Having a baby is not always some spiritual fucking moment for everyone. Some people just fuck and then a biology happens and a baby comes out.
Yeah.
And then you get stuff like that. Like that was a hard pill to swallow for some people, that your dad doesn't care about you. Sometimes you have people in this world whose parents literally are just like, I don't fucking want you. Like,
I'd never wanted you.
You know what's crazy? That was what Moon Knight was. This last episode of Moon Knight was about something like that.
I gotta catch up on that.
This last episode, Oscar Isaacs is that dude.
He really is.
He's that dude. I'm telling you.
I've heard great things about Moon Knight.
It is. They do it so. It's Egyptian god. So and then they say something about the ancestral plane. She was like, oh, there's different planes of consciousness. You guys should see the ancestral plane. And I told Amanda, I was like, oh, you know what they're trying to do now. Like, that little, like, remark to the ancestral plane is very, like, trying to talk about Wakanda. Like, where they were, and it's Africa, so they, Storm is from Egypt. And, they could be trying to set up some...
And that's what I was about to say. Doctor Strange, I forgot where I saw it, but they confirmed Illuminati.
Yeah. Your dad sent you in the group chat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's exactly where X-Men is about to come.
Is that with Professor Xavier?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Professor Xavier. Who's in Illuminati?
Professor Xavier. The comic books is Professor Xavier,
Doctor
Strange, Tony Stark, and Black
Panther.
Thunderbolt. Black Panther is the fourth one. They kind of switch out between 4 and 5 people. Thunderbolt, the Inhuman who can't talk. Yeah, he's really smart too. He's a part of Illuminati. He's a genius. Yeah, just like the 5 smartest people in the
Marvel universe.
The universe.
Yeah, just period. So
the
like,
smartest people.
They're supposed to. I think what they're trying to do is like Illuminati has been known that multiverse is a thing. That's why Tony Stark was able to figure it out so quickly. Because
is that why, like, in the trailer, you could hear Professor Xavier say, "We should tell him the truth" or something?
Yes. Yeah. That's why you see when he's getting escorted by those are Iron Man.
Yeah,
droids.
those are those. Yeah,
those are, but they're like from another universe. Iron Man droids.
Which I can't wait for them. This episode is perfect timing because it's gonna come out next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And the next day, that's when Doctor Strange is gonna come out. I only said Zero Records because they're doing that giveaway for Doctor Strange tickets.
Oh, no shit.
For like 2 days early, like you could watch it on the Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I signed up for the giveaway.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I'm trying to.
I would love to see it. Like, I haven't seen a midnight showing in a long time.
Last midnight showing I seen was, I think my brother took us to go see. Was it Batman Begins?
The first Batman.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was a minute ago.
Yeah, we've been to like, and I think Infinity War was It was like 11:30 showing. For us.
Yeah. We went to.
We didn't get home till like 2 something.
Because then I think when the first Avengers came out, that wasn't a midnight showing. I think it was just a regular, like, early evening, like a 7, 8.
They didn't start their midnight showings until like. No, I think Avengers might have been the first time they started. I don't think anything's before that were midnight showings.
Like Paranormal Activity. I remember that.
Yeah, horrors were a big midnight release back then.
Maybe I just saw it late night when it was already out, but for Batman Begins. But I remember Avengers was a late one too. The first late Avengers, because it was packed. The theater was fucking packed.
Everyone,
like everybody, and people clapping like, "Shut up, man! I'm just trying to watch a movie, bro."
Because some of those people are there for the second time.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like, I can be excited.
Oh, watch this! Shut up! You know, like, God damn, I'm just trying to watch the movie.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to watch him pick up the hammer again. Shut the fuck up.
Watch what happens. Oh.
Everybody watch.
He died. Oh no! Don't say that.
No, but what were we talking about?
Yeah,
at Astra, right?
Yeah, and Doctor Strange.
Spiritual and Doctor Strange.
Yeah. That shit's gonna be so cool.
Damn, yeah.
The Doctor Strange movie. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be perfect time.
And you know that they're gonna do it to us again. I think this is like Eternals was like the Universal Hulk. It was good.
I'm waiting for another. They should just do another Hulk movie. Just do one.
I think they're taking that away. They're gonna do him in the She-Hulk show. He's gonna be more involved in that, and they're probably trying to like backdoor it that way.
I think they've recovered it by now. They're like Mark Ruffalo's that man.
Yeah, they're gonna
he's Hulk. He's Hulk.
And he's gonna have to be like older Hulk now. That's gonna be cool. Like he might have like gray and shit like that. And
he's chilling.
Yeah, more.
I am really excited.
Because he's regular again. Somebody pointed out like, oh yeah, he's regular again in Eternals. At the end of he's regular.
He's in there?
No, wait, which one? Oh no, Spider-Man. When he shows up, one of those he shows up, he's in the hologram. He's talking on the communicator thing. He still has an armband on, but he's regular again.
That's Spider-Man.
That's Spider-Man. Yeah.
The new one. In the end credits?
Yeah, that's what it was.
He's one of them. He's one of the screens.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And he's back to, but he still has the arms thing. So you're like, wait a minute, you turn back to regular. Because people hated Professor Hulk. People hated that shit.
Yeah. I didn't hate it, but I could see what
it was like, what?
Yeah, like, why don't you do Hulk shit?
I like when she mentioned it though. She was like, "I liked you better when you were like two separate people." I was like, that was like a jab at the character.
Yeah, it's like go back to your normal self.
Exactly.
This is weird.
Yeah, we don't like this, man.
Just go back to being Bruce.
Nerd.
I think I like you better out of the other ways. I was like, that's a real diss to somebody.
That's fucking. Like,
that's a real diss.
You can't recover from that. Like, you got to get angry for that.
But I think we're good.
Oh yeah, we had an hour.
Yeah, we're good.
And it's
hour 40. It's what?
10:30.
What?
Oh my god!
Time travel, bro. Time travel.
And I didn't have the laptop on a charger.
No, for a sec.
That's crazy.
For a second, I thought you said it's 2:30. I'm like, no fucking way.
No, it's about to be 10:30.
But thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Yeah. No, hey, thanks for having me.
You're gonna be on again.
Okay, yeah. Hey, I'm waiting for it.
Everybody's coming back around now that we have. It looks better now.
It does.
I hope you guys like the new setup.
Again. Yeah, I did all this myself.
Yeah, we're back now.
I'm proud of this.
I like it.
We had some camera malfunctions. This is only one camera the whole time. We're doing good.
Yeah, we do what we can. Still upgrading.
But yeah, this is still this is always a work in progress.
Always.
That's the whole thing. We all got 24 hours.
Hey, we all got the same 24 hours. Make the best of it. No, thanks for having me on, you guys. Like I said, hey, appreciate you guys. It's amazing what you guys are doing right now. Again, hey, keep with it.
Thank you.
Keep going with it. Stick with it. I want to give a quick shout out. Again, hey, Kim, I see you. See you, boo. I'll talk to you later.
I see you.
What else? Hey, if you're trying to get faded up, cut up, hit up Fonzie Cuts right now.
Hit up Fonzie
If you're trying to get tatted, if you're trying
Mine's
to get tatted,
not fresh, but it is.
If you're trying to get tatted, hit up Chris McGee. That tattoos
by McGee.
By McGee right there.
That's clean. I'm gonna tell you, that's a clean
right
one.
there. Yeah,
thanks,
that thing clean.
Yeah, it's healing. But if you're trying to get cut up as well, hey, hit on my bro Martine. We're at the Iron Shed, Phoenix, Arizona. Let's go. Let's get big. And yeah, you guys. Hey, again, thanks for having me and appreciate it for everything that you do. I listen to you guys every week. And I'm already I'm subscribed already. And keep doing what you're doing, man. Hey,
thank you.
Keep fighting the good fight.
All right.
Peace.
Let's go.
Hey.